Ciao everyone, Mike here. Just wanted to remind you it's February and the Winter Olympics are on. We just restocked all of our sports gear and our flags. So if you want to rep Italia, go to hardcoreitalians.com and get your merch. Guys, this episode is awesome. We had an absolute boxing legend, Boom Boom Mancini. Guy's a championship fighter. Great guy all around. And he said he wanted to do a part 2. So if you want him to come back on the podcast, be sure to let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the episode 2, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. And let's get into it.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the show. Me and Mike, the owner of Hardcore Italians, have a very, very special guest today. We're so excited to kick off the new year with our first guest of the year. And you definitely know who he is. He's a very humble, nice, professional boxer, the champion, former lightweight champion from 1982 to 1984, the boxing champion. Since then, he's been an actor, sports commentator. He's done so many cool things. And you can also catch him in the documentary, The Good Son. And we're pleased to welcome Boom Boom Mancini to the show. How are you?
I'm good, gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
We're so excited.
Yeah, we're excited. For sure.
Let me just close my door here.
Yeah.
My wife's just coming with the dogs, and they'll be barking, so I don't want to hit. Okay, we're good.
No worries. Perfect. I love your background. I love all the stuff you got there. All the
well, we had a crib right there. Yeah. And I did a few meetings. People go, what's with the crib? I go, well, when my wife's daughter comes with her kids, then when my daughter comes with her, my granddaughter, she stays at Seoul. But we moved into the other room now.
Yeah, well, I know how that is because my niece was born in May, so I definitely know how it is. It's always nice to have the babies around. It's nice.
Oh yeah. It's a sign of life, man. It's a sign of life, right?
Of course, yeah.
You hear the babies crying. It's it's a beautiful thing.
Of course. So Ray, you grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, right?
I mean, I'm born and raised. I'm back here in Youngstown. I'm back here since 2014. In 2079, I moved to New York when I first turned pro. I lived in New York for 3 years, almost 4 years. Because after I won the world, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
After I won the world title, I didn't have to be there anymore because then from there you go to training camp wherever you go. I go Catskills out to the West Coast, whatever. So I didn't have to be in New York anymore. So I moved back home at the end of 82 or beginning of 83. Mm-hmm. And then when I retired in 1985, I moved to the West Coast. I was in Santa Monica, California for 30 years. And then I came back 2014. Okay. And I said, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I love being home. I always wanted to come back. It's funny because I was out there for 30 years. And people say, hey man, where are you from? Where you live? I said, Youngstown, Ohio. They go, don't you live in Santa Monica? Aren't you from the West Side? I go, Santa Monica? I go, yeah, it's my kid's home. It ain't mine.
Yeah, it ain't yours. Yeah.
I never considered it home. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
of course, yeah.
I remember too in the documentary you said you never wanted to leave and stuff like that. So I could tell you really love it there.
Yeah.
And is that an Italian neighborhood or was it? And has it changed?
No, it's funny. It's not like Chicago. We talk about like down on, down there where. I'm trying to the street now.
Taylor Street.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we're from.
Our buddy Mikey the Fly lives, and everybody. That's the time you get. It's literally of Chicago, right? We have our pockets. The Italian sections are Briar Hill or Smoky Hollow. That's the two. You have to understand, Youngstown is the second biggest steel producing city in the world. At the turn of the century, they came from all over Eastern and Western Europe. So we have a large Italo-American community for sure, but we have also a large Western European community. We have them from Hungary, from Ukraine. We have a large Croat and Serbian community. So we were well recognized for all the cultures because Youngstown, again, was the second biggest steel producing city, and they knew they could get a job. So they came from all over the world to come here. Mm-hmm. Pittsburgh was one, we were two. So from Pittsburgh to Cleveland, this whole corridor, steel mill jobs, factory jobs, and everyone can get one. And like I said, we're at the forefront of the industrialization of America.
Yeah.
And during World War II, we built the bombs, built the airplanes. And then in 1977, which is September 19th, 1977, known as Black Monday around here, the steel mill literally shut down and was sold to a foreign company. And in one day, over 5,000 men lost their job. 1 week, over 10,000 men. 1 month over 20,000 men, and over a year over 50,000 men lost their job. It decimated my town. So, and I don't think we've fully recovered yet. But now it's all different. Now where we're back, the town is on the climb again, but it's not steel mill no more. And even we had we were at Lordstown, which is right outside of Youngstown in Trumbull, next county over, which was the General Motors plant. Thanks to Detroit, we're the biggest General Motors plant. Well, they left, so now they've tried to turn that into a battery where they're making these electric batteries now. So we tried to reinvent ourselves. Downtown Youngstown now is known as a university town. We are known. YSU, Youngstown State University, is one of the best business schools in the world. They come from all over the world for our business school.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So so what I'm saying is we've become a university town. So that's what's keeping us up, moving. Downtown Youngstown, 20 years ago, you shoot a cannonball after 4 o'clock. You would hit nobody. And I mean that literally. Now, 2,500, 2,000 people on a weekend. They put apartments downtown. They turned the old buildings into apartments, So it's been a lot of renovation going on. And it was the right time to come home. And I'm so happy I did.
Yeah. So you've always had family there too throughout the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because I even was looking at when I was searching up at like Youngstown, Ohio, like even some of the restaurants. You guys have a lot of good restaurants down there, a lot of Italian.
Yeah, we're known for our food,
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's Italo-American food, or like I said, all different. You could have Serbian food, Croat food,
multicultural. Yeah,
and we have we have a Spanish population, but the Boricuas, from Puerto Rico, that's the community. We don't have many from like Cuba or Dominicanos or Mexicanos. But actually, I take that back. We have a large Mexicano community now because they come in. And they start opening up Mexican restaurants about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. Now they're all over the joint, and everyone who don't love Mexican food, right?
Yeah, really.
I love it in LA. No, so it was.
It has to be authentic. It has to be authentic.
Authentic. You're absolutely right. Now, the reason I said that is because we were talking about Italo-American food, Italian American. But now we've had about 3 restaurants. Couple immigrants from Italy, they come and so it's authentica. You know what I mean? Real Italian food. And there's 3 joints here in town that, man, they're fabulous. So it's great. And then we got a few of these farm to table restaurants that are opening up, which is great too. So, town has got revitalization of it all, and it's different type of businesses that's building it up. See, we were a 1-horse town forever. Because why? Well, steel mills ain't going on. Everyone needs steel. Everyone builds with steel.
Yeah.
They could do it somewhere else cheaper, or they thought they could.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but even like, speaking of food, right? Like since you're Italian and stuff, it looks like your family probably homemade cooking was probably the best thing that you probably had, just because of the fact that growing up being Italian and everything, right? So how was your like upbringing being like an Italian household in general? Like what were the values that they passed down to your parents?
It's funny you said it. My father's a Chiliano, but my mother's Irish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was half Sicilian, half Irish, which makes me what? A mean drunk. But
I was gonna say that's a hell of a combo.
The Irish son said, "Buy the guy a drink." The Sicilian son, let's kick his ass afterwards. So
you're like Henry Hill from Goodfellas.
I know that's.
But he was the other side. He was the flippy floppy. The other side.
It was a flip. Yeah.
I love that combination, man.
My wife now is my second wife is Italian American, 100%, and she's a wonderful cook. She cooks tremendous, and that's a beautiful thing. When I was in California, I ate out every day, basically every day for years. But I love it, right? But now my wife cooks, and she's a wonderful, wonderful cook. So we have authentic meals, but not only Italian food. She likes to cook. I tell this, nobody, and I mean this, nobody better than looking in the kitchen when you got a refrigerator, when you got nothing, picking out leftovers here, leftover, and making something from nothing. She's the absolute best.
Oh my God. I love that too. That's how my girlfriend is. I don't understand it, but it's like how they do it, but it's a skill for sure. It's awesome. Yeah. It's being resourceful like that.
May I ask, now you're a Mexicano?
Yeah.
Yes. And my friend, and yourself?
Well, I'm Canadian. Yeah. It's Canadian Italian. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, you're Canadian, we know, but are your ethnicity is Italian?
Yeah,
Up there, yeah. See, it's a beautiful thing, right? So
exactly.
we understand the culture. Toronto is more Italians in Toronto, in more Italians in Toronto than any city in North America, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
they,
Yeah,
a lot of them
yeah,
immigrated here and stuff. Yeah, and
100% on that. Yeah,
even
Yeah.
and Ray, I like the fact that you brought up this idea of making something from nothing. I'm gonna make kind of like a metaphor thing, but it's kind
Yeah,
of
that's
true. Like
okay. Yeah.
Italians in general, we are known to make something out of nothing in general.
Right.
Look at, like, for example, look at all the Italians that, I mean, and I'm same with like with your father, right? Like how when they immigrated and stuff, they came from nothing, right? My
Right.
grandparents to everything, and that's the beauty about with our culture and a lot of people's cultures, because a lot of them immigrated and
right.
stuff. And I think, did a lot of those values pass on to you? Because I know that you also looked up to your father as well. He was a big figure in your
Absolutely.
life.
But you know, it's funny, I say this because, my wife laughs because I tell people I do nothing better than anybody else. I make it an art form. I mean, because, but what I'm saying, my wife always got to be doing something. And I come from the philosophy, nothing needs to be done. Don't. I
yeah,
don't. Relax, be in the moment. I'm about very much about being in the moment, being in the now. And it's hard to be now when you're always doing something. And with these, I'm very introspective, more now than ever before. I've never,
Yeah.
when I was young, I was always thought you had to do something. I'm more introspective now, and I like, and I do a lot of, praying. I do a lot of praying when I'm, just in the quiet times. I do a lot of meditating,
love it.
and so, but sometimes, like I said, it's just sometimes doing nothing and just taking it all in, being mindfulness. That's the term they use now, mindfulness, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Or praying. But see, people think you always got to be doing something, and I don't. I'm afraid. There's a saying: "Why put off tomorrow what you could put off the day after tomorrow?" So
Okay, that's pretty
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
why
I don't know if I heard
why
that
put
one.
off tomorrow? Why not put off what you could do the day after tomorrow? Because look, my wife says, "Can you take the garbage, take the recycling?" I go, "Yeah, I'll take it tomorrow." Well, can't you do it now? Because it don't need to be done now.
Yeah,
It don't need to
exactly.
be. I'm
No,
not gonna get up, get my stuff to go. No.
yeah, and
When I
that's
leave the house tomorrow, I'll make that one of my stops first before I go on my other stops. See, that's what I'm saying. We live in a society, and you find this more when you go to Europe. When you go to Europa, the Europeans are big on. In
yeah,
America, they tell you, in America, everything's in a rush. You drink a
The
cup
rat
of
race.
coffee, you're in a rush, which is true.
that's what I was
Like,
gonna say
our friends
too. Yeah,
from France, right? In France, they drink coffee for hours, man. And so I'm not saying it's always the best, but I'm saying at certain times you got to learn. No, look, a fighter, perfect example. I put the metaphor as a fighter. You got to know when to change speeds. When a fighter pour on, keep coming, throwing punches, blah blah. But sometimes you got to slow it down and hit the guy with the jab a few times. Then you start going back to banging that body. What I'm saying, you change speeds. Most like in life, you got to learn how to change speeds. When you're in a car, you change speeds. It's the same thing. So life, you got to learn how to change speeds, man. I'm not. There's time when I'm traveling. 2019, I traveled over 100,000 miles. I was in that airport, but I loved it. When I came home, I relaxed. You regroup. I didn't feel I had to do anything when I was home because I was on the road a lot. Now, 2020, nothing happened. So I got, energized, and you kept trying to get things going. Things are starting to heat up again. My point being is, in life, I think is much like, you don't always got to be doing something, man. You can do a whole lot of nothing, just being in the moment.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Thinking, meditation, prayer, and my wife is the total opposite. She's always doing something. I told you make a cup of coffee nervous, man. You make a cup of coffee nervous. Just
No,
relax.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's like something we try to
But I
stress
could
with the
ask for a
page
better one.
too.
She's the best. She's the best. She's the best.
Yeah. Well, no, that's
So,
why it's hard. Like today's day and age, just with technology and this and that, there's always something going on, and that's kind of why with
yeah.
our page we want to preach like kind of the Italian way, like you said in Europe, how they're kind of more relaxed and appreciate life in the moment and things like that. Like that's kind of what we're really about with our page too. And one of the biggest reasons I want to have you on too is because another huge thing we believe in is kind of not taking someone else's opportunity for granted. Like my grandparents came from Calabria to America, and they really didn't have opportunity to go like make $1 million or build a business or this and that. They came, worked in a factory, worked hard, You know what I mean? And they kind of sacrificed their life, but they gave us an opportunity. And that's like something we really try to do. And why like I'm so passionate about our business and things like that is to take what they gave us and like turn it into something. And I feel like you've done that with your dad, kind of how he went to the war and he was supposed to be the champion. And you kind of, I just want to make sure like, or ask you, I guess, is that kind of what drove you to really want to become the champion? Is your dad kind of lost that opportunity and you wanted to like not let that go? Or could you dive into that a little bit?
Absolutely. It was the one, my only construct to fight was to win that world title for my father. But you have to understand, I didn't know anything else. And what I mean by that is from day one, I was I was a little boy. People say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, I want to be a fighter world champion for my father. Oh, isn't that cute? A little boy wants to be a fighter for his father, but it never changed. So as I kept going, when I went to school, what are you going to do? And you go, I'm going to be a fighter world champion for my father. Why aren't you going to do it? And then the teachers tell you, well, you got to get that education. Oh, yeah, I'm going to educate myself being a fighter. And my point being, after even when I got older, and then when I went to New York, because I always knew that's what I said. When I was graduating high school, my father turned pro at 18. I wanted to be my father.
Yeah.
And he went to New York. I'm going to New York. After I won the title years later, it's funny because one of the reporters said to me, well, we always hear about you want to be a fighter, but if you weren't a fighter, what else would you have been? I said, I can't answer that. I can't answer.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else I wanted to be. So I could sit up and say, well, I would have done this, and it would have been a lie.
Yeah.
I like to think this. I would have done something else and been successful because I like to think I'm that type of guy.
Yeah, well, you were pretty athletic. You played other sports and things like that, right?
Of course,
so
I had other sports, but I like to think I would have figured it out and been successful. But I don't know what that is. Like you said, I had a professional baseball offer by the Toronto Blue Jays, 1979, second year in the league. Pat Gillick was the GM. But I tell people, I don't think that's such a big deal because in 1979, I think they offered anybody a contract. They needed players, Please come there. Toronto's not a baseball city.
Well, no, it's not. Toronto.
Yeah,
Toronto's
at the time,
not
I was gonna say that.
Toronto. All we have is Toronto Raptors that won the championship. That's it. That's all we got.
No,
man.
Toronto's coming up in all sports, man. They're baseball. They definitely
2 years in a row. What was it? 91. What was it? Early,
I forgot. Definitely before I was born, though.
Yeah. So, but whatever it was, like I said, I think I would have been successful. Now, going to school, I was a good student. I wasn't a great student because I couldn't. I got B's. I was a B student. I could have. If I put more into it, I don't know. I'm a firm believer in learning more about the brain only has so much in it. A lot of it's got to do with genetics. I worked hard to be a good be a B student, but mainly a C, high C plus B student.
Yeah.
But my daughter,
I feel you there.
My daughter takes after my mother. My mother had 140 IQ. I mean, like Mensa. My mom graduated high school at 16. She was already working in a working field at 16. My daughter has 140 IQ, and without having to do anything, she was getting A's. Where my boys have to work hard to get B's. So so that's what I'm saying.
That's me too.
You just grind it out, right? You just work, but I'm proud of. But all my kids got a hard work, got a good work ethic.
Yeah,
look.
Yeah,
I'm not saying if they see me. I worked hard for a short period of time, but they've seen me take that and try to parlay it into something else. Now I'm always trying to evolve. People say, you trying to reinvent yourself? I go, evolution. To me, it's evolving. It's not reinventing. It's like you're creating something from nothing. I've already got something. I'm just evolving to the next thing.
Gotcha.
That's a very important thing too. And even like the fact that, because I know exactly, I can definitely relate to what you're saying about when people ask you, especially when you're young, right? When they say like, oh, what are you do for education? Or like, oh, do you have a backup plan? Or you have this, that. At the end of the day, like, look, I'll use myself as an example. I'm trying to be an actor, right? And I think I can be a great actor. I work hard. I'm very persistent. It's like Mike with his brand. Like, he probably wants to be the best Italian brand there is. He already is, but he's too humble to say it. But basically, my point is that I know what it's like when people say to you, oh, like have a backup plan or this, or, get an education. You know what it is? I think it comes down to the fact that it's their own insecurities and they're outpouring it to everybody else, which is not a bad thing. I actually kind of feel bad for people who do that. I don't blame them necessarily, because society has kind of altered our minds to, again, well, you mentioned it earlier about being in this rat race. You gotta you always gotta be on the go. You can't have time to sit back and observe and really analyze things, because the thing is, when it's a quote that Ferris Bueller says, an amazing quote, one of my favorite movies: life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you can miss it. Sometimes, listen, it's important to shoot for your dreams and to go after everything, but sometimes it's good to take that step back, look at everything from a different lens, and kind of go at it, maybe, because again, it's your career, what you want to go for. It's not going to be a straight line. It's going to go up and down.
Oh, that's right. Hills and valleys, baby. Hills and valleys. Much like love. Love is a series of hills and valleys, man.
Exactly. There you go.
I love, with your partner, but as long as you have a friendship, there you go. You could fall into love back. If you ain't got a friendship with that person, man, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You don't want to get to the point where you get with that partner, you wake up one day, you look over at this person next to you in bed, go, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
So,
I've yet to experience that.
my son's an actor, lives in Los Angeles, Leonardo Mancini. And he's done a couple films, comes from the world of stage. Now, LA is not where stage is.
No, New York.
He lived in New York for a bit. He was doing stage there. And he's got some independent films coming out. But,
that's awesome.
He's doing the grind, man. But it's hard to get an agent now. It's hard to get an agent or a manager because they got to see tape. and they want to see tape on it. So he's got some things to show now. You hope. See, agents and managers ain't the most imaginative people. And that's why you hope that somebody will take a look at this, look at you, go, you know what? I see something in this kid. I'll take a shot on him.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, the great thing about the entertainment business, you don't need 100, you don't need 50, you don't need 10. You need one person to believe in you. Take the shot. So
yeah, I'm thankful that I have that at the moment. I work with a great lady. You actually might know her. I think she said she met you a couple of times. Her name's Melissa Prophet.
Oh, I know Melissa, sure.
Yeah. She's my manager. Yeah.
Oh, say hello for me. So
I will definitely 100%. Yeah.
Great. So
I should have called Melissa. I should have called Melissa because he's looking around. There to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell Melissa, no, seriously. I would tell Melissa I'm gonna have my son call. He needs representation. You gotta, he's met with some big people. They keep saying, well, look, you know as well as I do. Everyone's got the answer up there, but everyone's got the questions, but nobody's got the answer. In LA, everyone's got the questions.
People may think they have the answers too, but no one knows better than yourself. Like if your son believes he can be the best, all these managers and agents may turn him down or something, but do it.
That's why he's stuck to the grind. You don't pay attention to nobody. You should do this. I've done that. Oh, you should. I've done. He's been studying for 12 years. He still goes to class twice a week. He's done off-Broadway stage. He's been up for awards on stage. He's done a couple of independent films. I've done that. So when they can say, "Oh, you should do this," I've done it. I'm doing it. So there's nothing you can tell me I haven't done. Doesn't mean he knows it. I'll be nothing. That's what I'm saying. But that's you know as well as I do. Agents, they don't know nothing. A lot of agents and managers are frustrated actors. So, not saying yours, Melissa.
He's a different breed.
Excluded. But a lot of agents, they don't get it. They try to give you the old, instead of saying, you know what they should say? Here's what I tell people. People used to say to me, look, I was with William Morris for years. I left William Morris. You're funny, my agent, you'll tell you who it is in a minute. I left because I didn't understand the business. I was getting impatient because remember they came out with the 3 baseball films, Bull Durham, 8 Men Out, Major League that one year. I said, give me up for me. Wow, I'm TV, that's film department. We don't cross over too much. You go, get somebody to give me up. Because Ron Shelton, part of that with Bull Durham, audition was taking people out to see if they could hit and film.
Yeah.
And I got so frustrated. I said, and I left. Said, that's it. He said, you should just worry about auditioning. That. So, you know what? I said, their vision for me and my vision were 2 different visions.
2 different things. They didn't cross, unfortunately.
Coming from where I come from, right in the ring, I control my own destiny. I win, I lose. It's in my hands. In that business, you control very little. All you control is your work. When you get a chance to audition. That's all. But whether the casting director or producer or the director choose you or not is out of your hands.
Yeah.
I've been up for a couple of auditions where I kicked ass, man. Oh man, I was on to the last one and I didn't get it. You go, okay, for whatever reason.
You move
know what
on,
I-
yeah.
You know what I was told? Remember Reservoir Dogs, right?
Yeah.
Down in Alaska for Mr. Pink. I did audition and I just kicked ass, but I knew, you know when you're right on, you know when you sting to join on too, right? They go, man, that was great. It's Quentin Tarantino was there. This story went on. This story is all over the internet. You could get this.
Yeah.
You can check it out. He sit there and he goes, wow, man, that was great. He said, but I can't give you the role. I said, what? He said, I can't give you the role. I said, what are you talking about? I says, because you're Boom Boom Mancini. Everyone will look at you and say, that's Boom Boom Mancini. I can't give you the role.
Wow.
I said, then why the hell did you have me come in and do this? Well, I wanted to meet you. And he said, and I wanted to see what you could do. But to be honest with you, I was hoping you'd fail, but you did. You killed it.
Holy shit.
I can't give you the role. I went up to the table and I pushed the table and I'm like, push the table. I said, let me tell you. And I called him every name, like, you no good son of a blah, blah, blah. I said, I'll whip your ass. Who do you think you're messing with? You think I'm some jerk off? Did you come in and just be like a jerk? I'll beat your ass I'll beat you like I own you. And I went after.
Oh, man.
He's like, oh, Mr. Mancino. Mr. Mancino.
No way.
That's fucking awesome.
That's
Who the hell you
amazing.
think you're messing with? Who do you think I am? Now,
Damn.
and I was all serious. I stopped, I turned on, and I caught myself. Because in that business, if they think you're stone crazy, they won't mess with you. Because it's a business about money. They will not mess with you. Because they think he's a headache on set. He's a headache.
True.
So I caught myself. I start walking away, stop, turn around, and go, how's that for acting? Oh, shit.
No way.
But I wasn't acting.
Well.
But
But
I
it
wasn't.
wasn't. It wasn't. But you told him it wasn't.
I just because you realize I just did this. I caught myself because if they think you're crazy, he's a headache. They won't mess with you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the
yeah.
best
You
story.
read up getting that story. You can look up on the internet. It's gone all over.
That's awesome.
I've been in Europe with that story on English radio stuff. True
That's
story.
awesome.
And if they say, "Oh, I never happened," it's full of shit. It happened. But here's the reason I'm telling you, because people say, "Oh, well, Steve Buscemi played Mr." Oh, well, I said, wait, don't get me wrong. Steve's a friend of mine. I've done a movie with Steve. He's a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
Great. I said he was terrific. I'd have been just as good, but I'd have played it different, but as good. Don't get it twisted. I would have been as good. Mm-hmm. And they go, because he played it different. You know how many stories you hear about, people who played Godfather instead of Brando, they were talking about, doesn't mean they would have played it wrong, but it would have been different.
Yeah.
But
It's all different. Yeah, it's all perspective. Yeah. At the end of the day, listen, some people, it's crazy. Some people think, which is, I don't believe it's true, but some people think Al Pacino's not a good actor, which I think they're crazy, but some people, that's just what they think. It's
my favorite.
But that's yeah.
I'm actor because he does everything. Yeah, people say, "Oh, De Niro." They're all their favorite actors. I love these actors. I love these actors because not because they're Anglo-American, because they're great actors. They studied for years. De Niro, Pacino didn't hit until 29, 30 years old. My son's just turned 30. He's like, "Pop, I'm on 30. It's running." I said, "No, you're at the right time. Believe me. I'm a firm believer in this in life. You're a young man. Things happen at the right time. When you fall in love at the right time. If you believe and you have faith, trust the good Lord, it happens at the right time. It don't happen by happenstance.
Yeah.
Things, do I think that luck, I believe in that. Luck, absolutely I believe in luck. But you know what luck is? Luck is the residue of design. Luck is the residue of design, which means you create your own luck. You put yourself in a position to be in the right spot right there. Put yourself in a position to get that call because you've done the work. I'll shut up because I keep going on.
No, it's okay.
But you have many definitions of success, right?
Yeah.
My favorite definition, is when preparation meets opportunity. Mm-hmm. That's success. Preparation meets opportunity. You never know when you can get that call, but you're ready. Because you've gone to class, you've studied, you've done everything you're supposed to do. When that opportunity comes, that's it.
I think, and it's funny because you mentioned a lot about luck and all that stuff, which again you make your own luck. And I like that quote you made. I was actually going to ask you about that because you've accomplished so much even at such a young age, winning the title at like your early 20s. Like, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
I'm looking. My wife's Calabrian. She's Calabrian.
Hey,
hi. Nice to meet you.
Like the shirt.
Love the shirt.
Yes.
That's
No,
awesome.
yeah, she doesn't understand
You're very
why you're doing
loud.
a Zoom thing. She was, you're very
Very
loud. She was very. She doesn't understand that this is supposed to be like an intimate thing. She just walked
I
in.
just walked right
Oh,
in.
but I love it. This is
It's a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
Grab some out of the
But tell, was it not just talking about her cooking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
very
he's-
complimentary. You'll hear.
He said
for
no
sure.
one beats it. No one beats it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Even though he's not. Nice
Yeah,
to meet you guys.
Nice to
You
meet you.
too.
Nice to meet you. So Ray, I was saying too about like because you have accomplished so much at such a young age, winning the title and everything, doing all these cool things. And I like this idea you said about preparation meets opportunity, right? Because that's something where again, people the greats in life, they prepare, and then when something good happens, they deem it as luck. But it's all subliminal. Everyone's taking the people who make it in life, right? Who the greats in life, right? They do all these proper steps unknowingly because it's within them. So for you, boxing, again, you mentioned it was within you. You didn't want to be anything else. Even in your first fight, your debut fight, 1979, you defeated Phil Bowen in the first round. That shows your talent. It shows your hustle. So everything that you're talking about too, what's another piece of advice you'd give to someone who's fighting for their dreams, like who is going for something?
It's funny you said that, because the other thing is what I was talking about after I won the title, reporters, right?
Yeah.
So when I told the reporter, yeah, man. So one reporter said to me, "It's not a real champion." He says, "Yeah, we all know that you want to win it for your father, but did you really actually think it would happen?" I said, "Yeah, man, because I used to dream about it.
Yeah.
I have these dreams.
How are you that confident at that early? You know.
Because I have dreams since I was 10 years old, carrying the belt over my head, walk my hands raised." I said, "See, now psychologists have a fancy name. It's called positive mental visualization, right?
Yeah.
But if you could dream it, you could be it." I said, "Hell, man, I always thought it was called dreaming. Just being a dreamer. I had dreams."
Yes.
But but now positive mental visualization, yeah, means dreaming in your mind. You could see it. You see yourself represent. Yeah, it's called having dreams. Just being a dreamer. That's what it's called. So that's what they don't understand. You have, people say, now that you heard the words, I love this terminology, manifestation.
I forgot the word manifestation. Thank you.
True.
And I said, yeah, manifestation is believing it, seeing it, dreaming it, having faith that's going to happen. I mean, you call it whatever you want. It's faith, man. Faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in your ability, faith that God's going to shine that light on you and give you that opportunity when the time is right.
Right too.
And,
Like I know, like because with boxing too, it's a little bit different because every boxer you're fighting has the same dream, the same vision, And I know, like, and correct me if I'm wrong too. Would you do more like weight training when other boxers wouldn't and stuff like that, or?
Well, I did that. Not weight training. I was doing. I'll tell you, man. Nautilus training,
Oh,
which
okay.
was light weights, high rep light weights, which
Okay.
is what I still do now. So because boxing, and a lot of push-ups, dips, pull-ups, all the natural things, body weight. And
Yeah, but
the-
not other
the
fighters were
Nautilus-
doing that at the time, really.
Nobody was doing that, right? I don't know of anybody doing it at the time. But my trainer, my manager, Dave Wolf, talked to a gentleman. Nautilus was very new at that time,
Mhm.
and talked to a gentleman, Tony. I forgot Tony's last name. And so I used to take the train. I lived in Manhattan, 73rd Street. I used to take the train to the Bronx to get twice a week to do Nautilus. But the thing about Nautilus, it's full range of motion. So weights where you pull up and then you drop down, right? You struggle up, and now it's range of motion. So same range of motion forward is back, right? So you get the full range of motion, not just a full range of motion. So you get the tris and the bis up, all the muscle groups.
Yeah.
And now Nautilus is becoming what they're doing now in these apps, right? Is plyometrics. So I do. That's how I work out 5 days a week. Plyometrics.
So,
I kick gas for 30 minutes. Burn for 5 minutes. 5-minute rounds. Burn for 5 minutes. Or when I do weight work, 1 minute. One word, and then I'll do weight work, and then the rest, and move into another body work. Whether ab work, whatever. So it's changed. Conditioning is changing for fighters now. Guys then when I was fighting, my trainer Murphy Griffith, I was doing pull work. punching underwater, right?
Huh.
Yeah.
No fighters were doing it since I was the first fighter since Marciano to do that. Now it's common, right?
Okay.
One thing, Murphy Griffin, you know what he did? He had an old bicycle tire. He used tape, tied it so I could put my hand with my hand, and it was it was like a harness over my neck.
Yeah.
For punch, and punch with it because it would pull back. It was the idea of it was forward, the forward and back used it, but now they have machines for it, right? They have the machines that you see guys like Holyfield were doing it and stuff. I was doing with a tire tube in 1979.
Yes.
People just reinvent, nobody's reinventing the wheel. It's exercise people take it, so range of motion, you get to pull forward and back. So
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people could have the dream to be champion, but they don't know like to try different workouts, or like even with training aside, like having the motivation to stay in the rounds, like it gets tough. Like you're taking a beating and you still gotta, you could have the dream for it, but what makes you keep going when it's tough to go the next round? Like they would say in Rocky, almost like, it's one round makes all the difference and stuff like that. Like how do you keep your drive with all that when you're boxing?
I think, people say you have heart. True, you gotta have heart. Desire, I call it, they always talk about, you always see pictures in 3D, right? Motion pictures in 3D, bigger and better, right? I call success is 3D. Desire, determination, and drive. You know what I mean? Or drive, dedication, desire, and drive, or dedication. It's all of that.
Yeah.
Meaning, look, people talk about it. You see certain fighters nowadays. I think the fighter nowadays because they don't have to go 15. And I'm gonna say it over and over. People don't understand the difference between 12 and 15. Any 10-round fighter can go 12. Any 10-round fighter, you can get out the last 2 rounds. Very few go 15.
Yeah.
And you see that the talent is not what it used to be.
It takes special conditioning for that type of.
It's not there, man. And so I think that for me, there's a lot of good fighters, a lot of talented fighters. A lot of them could have gone 15 maybe, but we don't know. We can't say they would have. We don't know because they never had to. So in the last 3 rounds, in professional boxing, changed the history of boxing. For instance, 1937, Joe Louis was way behind Billy Conn going into the 13th round. He knocked out Conn in the 13th round. And a very famous story is after that, the press conference, Joe Louis, Billy Conn said to Joe, why couldn't you let me have the title for a little bit? He said, I would have given it back later on. And Joe Louis said, Billy, you had it for 12 rounds and you didn't know what to do with it. Great. It's true. And then,
Burn.
And then look, Rocky Marciano against Walcott. Everyone thinks that Marciano was behind Walcott going into the 13th round. He was behind on the cards. And they hit him with the old Suzuki punch, probably made for me the greatest single punch in boxing history, and knocks Walcott out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ray Leonard's way, way behind Tommy Hearns going into the 14th round. Can't win the fight unless he knocks him out. What's he do? He stops him. See, so the course of history of boxing will be changed. Even my own for myself. If it's my fight with Aguayo, I was winning after 12 rounds on all cards. According to 12 rounds, I'm world champion. But that's not what it is. It's 12, even when I lost my top Bramble, I was beating Bramble after 12. So what I'm saying is, it's true chip, the distance is 15 for me. Now, the reason I go on to that is a lot of these fighters nowadays we're talking about, they have talent. But for whatever reason, a guy like Deontay Wilder is such a natural talent. He could be the single best puncher in history if he knew how to fight. But he doesn't know how to fight a lick. Not a lick. He can punch like a mother, but he doesn't know. His balance is bad. He doesn't know to set everything up with the jab. He's 6'7" and doesn't use a jab. There should be nobody getting near you with that, right? You should have to do. You can win rounds with the jab. They don't. You have to throw right hand for rounds until it opens up. You drop it. Everything was right hand. So what I'm saying is, guys don't know how to fight nowadays. A lot of good fighters, but these guys, I don't know if it's a trainer. I'm not saying there's not as many good trainers. There's a few great ones. course, Freddie Roach, Buddy McGirt, Robert Garcia. Those are their ex-fighters. But there's very few good trainers, man. Very few.
What do you think about like? Because I'm just curious to know your opinion on it. Because I kind of agree with you. I can kind of see the difference between like old boxing and new boxing and stuff. But even people like, for example, like Jake Paul, those people, like, is it more? I think
Don't you start. Let me tell you something.
Is that bullshit or is that real?
It's all bullshit. Of course it's bullshit.
that's what I was gonna say.
I was at Cleveland for the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley one, right?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Right. After the fight, Marcos Villegas, one friend of mine from LA, you know, Marcos on boxing. He's one internet guy, big internet. Boom, boom, what'd you think? I said, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. I said, this guy can't fight a lick, meaning Woodley, yet he won that fight. If you go by that, he won that fight. I said, but of course he ain't going to get the win because he can't sell 2 tickets. The other guy, look, I tell this and I'll say this over and over. I admire Jake and Logan Paul. They've created something from nothing. The internet stars, they've created this movement, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
I said, they train like fighters. They train like real fighters. They got real fighters in their corner. BJ Flores, you know. They got hype guys as real fighters as hype guys. You know, Andre Berto walks them down. They just can't fight. That's no knock on them. They just can't. But the fact that he's getting this, you know, now he's calling on Mike Tyson. 50 minutes. Oh my God.
But you shouldn't, and I think the reason why now it's all about selling tickets, about money. It's all about for the wrong reasons, I find.
But,
like even for example, like Jake Paul, like Jake Paul, like he may win a fight, but he didn't beat the person. Is that kind of?
Tell me one boxer they fought. No, they're fighting fighters, guys from MMA. You know why? Because MMA guys, 80% are on your back, grappling, jiu-jitsu, 10% is kicking, the other is hands. I work with a lot of guys because I took Brazilian jiu-jitsu for 10 years. And I help a lot of those guys with their hands. And I tell them, you know, roll short. None of them can take a punch. You hit them, they're all over the place. Because they're not, you train to get hit on the chin. You can't train for a few months and think all of a sudden, for your whole career, you were a grappler. All of a sudden, you train a couple months, now I can take a shot. It don't work that way. And this Jake Paul knows that. And his brother, they know that.
Yeah, true.
So now, call out a real fighter. Tommy Fury, they're talking about fighting this Tommy Fury, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Fury will kill Jake Paul. He will knock him dead. And he's a 4-round fighter. 4-round fighter, man. So don't buy into that crap. You know, I mean, I knew how.
Do you think it eventually could come around? You know what I mean? Like, do you think eventually they can get enough skill to where it's a real thing, or is it just? I
mean, the fights that don't fight, make it a real thing because don't get sanctioned because it's a money grab.
Yeah.
Same thing with Conor McGregor. God bless him. He challenges Floyd Mayweather, the greatest fighter probably of the last 20 years, and he challenges him to a fight. Never had one fight. They would never allow any other person in Las Vegas without a fight to fight a 4-round fighter. If you had one fight, to fight the best fighter of the last 20 years, because it's a money grab.
Yeah.
So it did. It did what it's supposed to. But what happened? He played with him until he knocked him out when he wanted to. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Are you kidding me? Mike Tyson will throw one punch into Jake Paul. It'll come in. It'll hit him on the left side. It'll come out on his right. Jake Paul will
I
say,
know that's serious power, man. That's no joke.
It's going to be choreographed, whatever. See, it's not good for boxing. Not at all.
I don't even think Jake Paul cares though. Like he's one of those guys. Like he's challenging Mike Tyson just for the money. I don't even think he cares if he loses.
You know, and it's funny because son's like, Pop, you're from Cleveland. I'm from Youngstown, right the street.
True.
Watch you say call you out. I call me out. They're gonna say nothing about me. What are they gonna do? Go up and slap shit. What are you kidding me? These guys ain't gonna say shit. Would you ever go to retirement to fight him or what? Pardon me?
Would you ever go out of retirement to fight Jake Paul or what?
Well, first off, I'm lightweight. He's a fat fuck. He's a big fat fuck. So,
yeah, true.
No,
it is.
But let me tell you, it don't matter. I tap that chin one time, you fall like a sack.
Still win.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, why not? You make some money, you get a nice little win.
Let me tell you something. I actually got him, you know, when Roy Jones fought Mike Tyson, right? That exhibition, I got offered last Christmas, a year ago Christmas, to come out. Would I be interested in that? A friend of mine said, a promoter out of Vegas, a friend of mine said to me, hey, Ray, you watch Mike Tyson and Roy Jones? I said, yeah. I said, what'd you think? I said, not much. He said, I guess it's supposed to be entertaining. Not for me, but all right, I get it. He said, well, would you be interested in doing that? I said, no, not at all. He said, you don't even want to hear the offer? I said, you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't hear the offer. And he offered me over 7 figures to fight. I said, man, no kidding. No shit. I'm honored. I'm flattered. Hell no. He said, well, I said, not only wouldn't I want to do it, I wouldn't want to watch it. Who'd want to watch? Now, at that time, I turned 60 in March. I was 59. I said, I'll be 60 in a couple of months. It's a young man's sport. Who would want to see a 60-year-old man do that? Not me. So the fact that there are common guys, I'm honored. I guess it's supposed to be entertaining. I guess that's not entertainment. You're watching, pretty soon, we're going to have the seniors tour. You can have a seniors tour in golf. You can have it in bowling. You can't do it in boxing. Nobody wants to see it, including old fighters.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, with Jake Paul, Logan Paul. But here's the rub. I knew we were in trouble when we went there. Yeah, 16,000 people at the Gun Arena, right? They had I call them the Bieberettes. Remember Justin Bieber? Everyone combed their hair like him to the side.
Oh my God, yeah, to the
Bieberettes.
side, yeah.
Now everyone's combing their hair. They're bleaching up blonde. They had their own Bieberettes. Oh God, it's exhausting, man. I can't.
That is nuts. Oh my God. Well, it's just funny all these things change, and again, you've done so many cool things, but even some of the stuff you're doing now, because I know even I've been seeing on your Instagram a lot, you're promoting this, is it tequila you're promoting and stuff?
Well, I'm a partner. Well, yeah, I'm a minority partner tequila company. Now I have my own wine company. I have my own wine company since 2009, but I have my own bourbon company. My bourbon since 2015. My bourbon just won double gold at the World Spirit Olympics in San Francisco every February. They had the World Spirit competition. Mine won double gold last February.
It's called Boom Boom Bourbon, right?
My Boom Boom Bourbon. Yeah. They sent me a good certificate. It says, amongst the finest products in the world. Great. If I can't get outside Northeastern Ohio, what does it mean? So I told my team, if we can't get this, that we were in place to go to Vegas for all Nevada.
Yeah.
Vegas, Reno, and then COVID hit. So I put it on hold. But I'm going to do a thing with Southern Wine and Spirit for Nevada. And we're going to be in Nevada. And hopefully we're going to be in New York, Chicago, and in Florida soon. But my point being is, what difference does it make what you get if nobody knows about it? It's like a friend of mine who's a DJ says, what difference if the Rolling Stones are playing downtown Youngstown if nobody knows about it? Mm-hmm. Which is true.
I get what you mean, exactly.
And so I did the tequila because she did a wonderful thing. I'm not great with being on. My son is big on. He said he handles a lot of my accounts. He said, "Pop, you gotta get on there, man. Once a week. Now, once a week should not be hard, right? Should be hard. Find the time. Oh, by the way, I gotta go do a little 30-second, which I should. But so my bourbon, but I'll be doing it for the bourbon. I got you.
Well, are we able to do you ship it? If I were to order it, can you ship it to Toronto?
But you can, bourbon is different than the wine. Wine, I go to restaurants myself. I go, hey man, you try my wine? Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Liquor, whole different thing. It's got to be state controlled. So, but they do have it online. There's a couple sites online.
Because I want to buy it. I want to try it.
Appreciate that.
I'd love to try the wine too.
We have two. We have
That'd be awesome.
Boom Boom Bourbon. The brown label, which is a bold vintage, was from the first one. That was a bronze medal winner, 2017. I'm sorry. Wow. Now, the white label is the double gold. Both delicious. The one's 84 proof, which is the original, which is what I prefer. But this one's a $1.26 proof. $1.16 proof. 116 proof. It's a slow burn, but if you like bourbon, man, that slow burn is delicious going down. It's the same bourbon.
I'm gonna get this.
Same bourbon. The only difference is the one they add water to bring the alcohol content down. The other one they call cask strength, which means barrel to bottle, nothing between barrel to bottle, cask strength. So you got the original or you got the new one.
That's cool.
So, that's
awesome.
You go. There's a couple of sites, Bev Max or BevMo. One or the other. I can't. I'll have to text you. I'll go back. I'll text you.
Yeah, text me. I'm going to buy it 100%.
Yeah, if you go on Boom Bourbon, you get on. I think it's Bev
I love
Max.
that.
and you go on there, but then they hit you with that, but it's great, bro. I'm very proud of that. It's very good, bro.
That's
You
awesome.
gotta bring
yeah.
you gotta bring your boxing shorts back too, man. The Italian ones.
Well, you know what?
That'd be cool.
I would, but you know what? Funny you said that, because my young son is a designer, clothing designer. So he came out with his first line, March 26th of last year, it's called Live on the Legacy. Go on liveonthelegacy.com. Go on a sec.
I'll search right now.
Liveonthelegacy.com. But he came out with athleisure wear, a whole line, boxing inspired. So he had boxing shorts, white with the black trim, black with the white stripe. And then he had the Boom Boom shorts, which is the black with the red stripe, but they're shorts, pockets, drawstring, but they're boxing with the velour.
Yeah. What about?
And
I
then
was
he has
talking about the
joggers,
red ones
he has-
that's got the flag on the Italian flag on the side and
Yeah,
stuff, man.
yeah.
That
You got
that
the
one's
t-shirts,
awesome.
t-shirts, which is bamboo cotton, which
Wow.
is top of line. So
Everybody check this out.
that's it. Live on legacy, my man.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's all
Whoa.
athleisure wear, and he's done well with it. But what I'm more proud of is it's been all on his own dime. Now I said, now we need people to come in and take a look, come in, because you can't keep doing it on your own dime. You can't grow that way.
Yeah.
It's
So-
tough.
Well, even like the
hopefully-
shorts, like the shorts that Mike was saying too. These are the classic ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those. That's
Yeah,
what you
that's
gotta
better.
sell. I
Yeah.
buy those in a
Now
heartbeat.
my son's got those. My son's got the ones I wore in the Romero fight and the one in the second Bramble, black with the red stripe. The reason why is that my father had that was his trunks. See, back in the day when my father fought, you either blue with a purple stripe or purple with a blue stripe, or you have black with the red stripe.
Okay.
Okay.
People think you can make it. Back then you couldn't pick your colors. They gave you the colors.
Yeah.
So that's why my father had the black. When I was a little kid, he had the trunks black with the red. That's why the black with the red was why I chose to do that in honor of him. And now my son did that
Okay.
part of his athleisure wear, Boom Boom trunks, black with the red. So they're cool.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Ray, we should honestly, with Hardcore Italians, the brand, we should do some collaborations together and
I
stuff.
appreciate. Hey, I'll text you the information. He'd love to do something with you, man. He would. He'd love
Yeah.
to do for some.
I feel like if we put out those shorts, man, people will love
Well,
those for sure.
But
too,
tell
like,
him that.
collab
I
on
think
it or
he'll do
something.
it. We
All right.
talked about it, and tell him that he'll love it. He'll do it.
Yeah, I gotta
Absolutely.
link
Well,
up with them for sure.
Yeah. And again, Ray, we want to just thank you for coming on. We're gonna end off the show today, but this is
man.
fantastic. It was such a pleasure.
I had such a good time. I got to be back because we didn't talk about a whole lot. We talked a lot about.
No, we'll do part
about a lot of
two.
things.
Yeah,
We
I
gotta
know.
talk
I
about a
wanted
lot
to go.
more things.
Yeah, I wanted to go over a little bit more too. We'll definitely link again.
Yeah,
on another
please
one.
have me back. I'd be honored.
Mhm.
Oh,
Good
absolutely.
guys. Good guys. I had a good time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Ray. Everybody, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, everybody. Come on.
Yeah. Ray,
Thank
thank you
you.
for coming on.
I
Appreciate it.
appreciate you having me. Thank you.
See you guys.